Welcome to the shadows. Today, we dismantle the most dangerous advice you've ever received. They tell you to trust your gut. They call it a divine compass, a survival instinct that never fails. But what if that compass was forged in a house fire? What if it only points toward the flames? We live in an era that worships the vibe. If it feels wrong, we run. If it feels right, we leap. Yet for the wounded soul, the feeling of right is often just the feeling of familiarity. Your intuition is not a magical oracle. It is a biological database of every pain you've ever felt. When your gut screams danger in a room full of peace, it isn't predicting the future for you. It is remembering the past. It is your shadow projecting an old trauma onto a new face today. Think about the last time you felt an instant connection with someone you just met. That magnetic pull, that knowing that you belong together. Was it really destiny calling? Or was it your shadow recognizing a familiar pattern of chaos that you were raised to survive? We mistake the adrenaline of a trauma response for the spark of a soulmate connection. Your intuition isn't lying to you on purpose. It is simply working with a corrupted map. The shadow does not want you to be happy. The shadow only wants you to remain safe.
And in the primitive language of the mind, safe means whatever you have managed to survive.
If you survived a cold mother, your gut will feel safe when you find a cold partner. If you survived abandonment, your intuition will tell you to leave before they can leave you. This is the deception of the instinct. It is a biological loop that keeps you in a prison. To break the cycle, we must learn to interrogate the physical sensations in our bodies. Is that tightness in your chest a warning of betrayal or a memory of being unheard? Is that knot in your stomach a signal of deceit or of fear of being seen for who you are? We must become detectives of our own biology. We must question the oracle every single day. The truly intuitive person is not the one who follows every feeling without a second thought. The truly intuitive person is the one who can distinguish between the soul and the scar. The soul speaks in a whisper of calm clarity. It does not need to scream to be heard. The scar speaks in a roar of anxiety. It demands immediate action. It demands you run. When you feel a sudden, violent urge to react, that is rarely your intuition speaking to you. That is your nervous system hijacked by a ghost from a decade ago that you haven't buried. We call this emotional flashbacks, a state where the present is swallowed by the past. In this state, your gut feeling is nothing more than a chemical hallucination of old fear. The shadow is a master of disguise. It dresses up your insecurities in the robes of wisdom. It tells you that you are being discerning when you are actually just being judgmental. It tells you that you are being protective when you are actually just being paranoid. To heal, you must stop being a slave to your instincts and start being their master. This requires the uncomfortable work of looking directly into the crimson heart of your pain. You must ask, where did I learn that this feeling means danger, and who taught me this? Often you will find that your gut is just the voice of a parent who never felt safe. You are carrying a legacy of fear that does not belong to you, passed down through blood. The shadow is the keeper of these ancestral echoes. It plays them back like a broken record. Every time you follow a trauma-based instinct, you strengthen the bars of your own cage. You choose the same toxic dynamics. You push away the people who could actually love you. You sabotage the opportunities that would actually set you free from the life you hate. Why? Because freedom is unknown, and the shadow prefers a familiar hell to an unknown heaven. Your gut will tell you that the unknown is terrifying. It will beg you to stay in the dark. But the dark is where you are rotting. The dark is where the cycle continues forever. True intuition requires a quiet mind. It requires a body that is not in a constant state of war. If your life is a series of gut feelings that lead to disasters, it is time to stop listening. It is time to use your intellect to audit your emotions until they can be trusted again. This is the path of the lone wolf, to stand alone against the tide of your own impulses. It is not easy to tell yourself that your feelings are wrong. It feels like a betrayal of self. But you are not your feelings. You are the observer of the feelings. You are the witness. When you create space between the sensation and the action, you find the power to choose. That space is where the shadow loses its grip. That space is where the healing begins. Imagine a life where you aren't constantly reacting to the shadows on the wall of your mind. Imagine a life where you can see people for who they are, not for the wounds they trigger. This is the promise of shadow integration. This is the reward of the psychological warrior. We must burn the old maps. We must stop relying on a compass that was broken at birth. Your intuition should be a tool for exploration, not a shield for hiding from the world. Next time your gut speaks, don't just listen. Ask it for its credentials and its history. Ask it if it is speaking for your future self or if it is crying for your inner child. If it is crying, comfort it, but do not let it drive the car while you are traveling. You are the driver. Your logic is the headlights. Your soul is the ultimate destination. The shadow is just a passenger. It can stay for the ride, but it doesn't get to choose the turns. Many of you are tired. You are tired of being right about people and still ending up alone. You are tired of your instincts protecting you into a life of isolation and bitterness. That bitterness is the smoke from the fire of your unexamined traumas burning within. It is time to put out the fire. It is time to see the world through clear, unclouded eyes. The deception of intuition is the greatest trick the mind plays on the seeker of truth. It makes the prison feel like a fortress. It makes the chains feel like a safety harness. Break the chains. Walk out of the fortress. Embrace the discomfort of the unknown. When you no longer fear the silence, you will finally hear the true voice of your intuition. It won't be a scream. It won't be a panic attack. It will be a simple, cold recognition. Until then, be wary of what your stomach tells you. It might just be hungry for the past. We are built to survive, but we are meant to thrive. Survival is a low-resolution mode. Your gut is a survival organ. It cares about heartbeats, not about the quality of your life. It would rather you be miserable and alive than happy and slightly at risk of a broken heart. But what is a life without the risk of a broken heart? It is a life of stone and shadows. You were not meant to be a statue. You were meant to be a flame that consumes the dark. To become that flame, you must first burn away the lies your body tells you every day. Stop calling your anxiety intuition. Stop calling your trauma a bad vibe from others. Own your shadows. Name them. Understand their origins so they can no longer control you. The man who knows his own wounds is invulnerable to the projections of the world. He does not react. He acts. He does not flee. He chooses his ground and he stands firm. This is the goal of our work here, to move from the reactive to the proactive state of being. To move from the shadow-governed life to the light-directed path of the self-actualized. The road is long, and it is paved with the skeletons of the versions of you that failed. But each failure is a lesson. Each wrong gut feeling is a data point for your evolution. Do not be afraid to be wrong. Be afraid of staying the same while the world moves on. The deception of intuition is a heavy veil, but once you lift it, you see the world in color. You see the deep crimson of your own passion, no longer suppressed by the gray of fear. You see the charcoal black of your own power, no longer hidden by the white of pretense. You become whole. You become the master of the Psychumbra within your own mind. Remember, the gut is a physical thing. The mind is a physical thing. But you are more. You are the consciousness that can watch the gut and the mind fight and remain still. Cultivate that stillness. It is the only thing in this world that will never lie to you. When the world is screaming and your gut is churning, find the point of silence in your soul. That is where the truth lives. That is where the shadow cannot reach you or deceive you. The journey inward is the only one worth taking. Everything else is just a distraction. Do not let your biology dictate your destiny. You are the architect of your own spirit. The blueprint is in your hands. The tools are in your mind. The fire is in your heart. Stop listening to the ghosts. Start listening to the silence of the man you are becoming. The shadow is fading. The light is rising. The deception is finally coming to an end. You have been warned. You have been informed. Now you must choose to see the truth. Your gut is a memory. Your mind is a tool. Your soul is the only guide you truly need. Don't let the past masquerade as a premonition. The future is yours to build, not fear. Walk through the smoke. Find the crimson heart. And finally, learn to trust the right things. The path of the lone wolf is solitary, but it is clear. There is no room for ghosts here. Leave the trauma behind. Leave the false instincts in the dirt where they belong. Stand tall in the void. Look the shadow in the eye and tell it that its reign is over. You are awake now, and an awakened mind is the most dangerous force in the universe. Use that force wisely. Don't let it be drained by the illusions of a wounded nervous system. This is Psychumbra. We don't give you comfort. We give you the keys to your own cage. The door is open. All you have to do is stop believing the lie that it is still locked. Your intuition said you couldn't leave. Your intuition was wrong. Now walk out. Final thought. If your gut feeling makes you small, it is trauma. If it makes you grow, it is soul. Learn the difference. It is the only thing that matters in the end of this dark journey. Stay sharp, stay cold, stay silent. The truth is waiting for you in the deep. We will meet again in the next shadow. Until then, keep your eyes open and your mind clear.